I started off my few days in Cuenca with a wander around town and a very quiet, serene exploration of one of the museums here. Had a great collection of old cameras. The town really did seem quite quiet at this point, but clearly they were getting ready for some big celebrations. It's New Year's Eve. And you can see that these big caricature models of people that I saw being made in the previous episode are standard for the town on New Year's Eve. The main square was where everything was happening though. Lights, people setting off fireworks at every corner. It was a really great atmosphere. The band certainly had a whole lot of energy, and while this far back there was lots of awkward shuffling, but further forward people were a bit more enthusiastic with their dancing. Whilst the main action was happening in the main square, there was actually a whole load of people in the surrounding streets as well. Little kiosks selling snacks, music playing at some corners, and services happening shortly before midnight. And some of these caricature models that have been made had been arranged in some kind of displays. I'm not entirely sure what's happening here though. And then back to the main square for yet more fireworks. The previous day though, I had seen people making some of these caricature models, and I had promised them that I would go and see where they were displaying theirs. So I walked 15-20 minutes to the square that I had seen them, but unfortunately the rain started coming down quite heavily. And people seemed more interested in trying to keep dry than enjoying the shows and fireworks. As long as I've got food though, I'm happy.
It's been a lovely few days here in Cuenca, first big city in Ecuador. Spent New Year here, and it's been a good start to the year. Now I've got my chocolate croissant, great surprise to find, and it's quite early, it's not even 7 AM yet. I had to leave my bike at another hostel. That's where I'm going now, pick it up, get back on the road, and yeah. think it might be a bit of a wet drive today though. The forecast is not good. I mean, it's totally grey, and there's clouds in the hills above the city. It's wet season. What can I expect? Should we say atmospheric? It's going to be atmospheric today. That's what it's going to be.
And yes, Ecuador really was turning out to be the wettest country so far on my trip. Fortunately, as you can see, I've got a mini windscreen wiper on my glove, so keeps visibility good. Some people aren't being careful enough though. It really was pretty miserable driving.
So it's a wet day. It's a very wet day. I had to stop here to dry my helmet. Unfortunately, I stopped to go to the toilet just by the side of the road, and I had to open my visor to see what I was doing. But that means instantly water gets inside the visor and then it steams up and I can't see anything. If it stays dry inside there, then it's fine. And it's the same with the rest of me. If I stay dry inside, then I don't feel too bad. Slightly cold feet. But as soon as a little bit of wetness gets inside, it's getting pretty unpleasant. I'm still 2.5 hours from Baños, which it sounds like a wet place anyway. People have been saying that it's beautiful there, but when I point out that it's pretty wet and raining, they nod and laugh. So we'll see what it's like when we get there. Yeah, wet day.
I did finally get a little bit of blue sky, which was a great relief. Things could dry off a little bit.
Second ice cream of the day, but that's alright because it was raining, and I've made a new rule that when it rains I'm allowed 2 ice creams.
However, as I approached Baños, there started being huge queues all the way into town, several kilometers. Fortunately, I could nip past most of them.
It seems to happen quite often that it rains horrifically during the day, and then wherever I arrive in the afternoon, evening, it's all lovely. I'm in Baños now. Gonna go and find some food. I always say that.
It was a holiday weekend, so hence the queues coming into the town, and it was busy, people everywhere.
Pónganse rápido. No, acá, primero acá.
You probably can't hear me because of the waterfall on the other side of the camera, but this is why people come to Baños, for the Baños, the baths. Baths of the Virgin, they're called. The water there looks very murky, but I guess it's full of minerals and it's all lovely for your skin and everything.
And back in the city there was a magnificent cathedral with crypts and some kind of pilgrimage that people were making down in the crypt. The next day I headed east from Baños, just a little way along the valley, because there was another famous site that everyone was off to visit.
Off to see this waterfall, and had no idea that I've got to walk quite so much. I'm still wearing all my motorcycle gear, my waterproof stuff. I'm so hot and sweaty. This is walking down.
So this is Cascada El Pailon.
Not really much point saying anything because I don't think you'll hear me.
Okay, I was wrong about that, but it really was incredibly noisy here. I could barely hear myself speak, so I'm kind of impressed that the camera could. Because of the holiday weekend, there were a huge number of people here. There were some stewards ushering people along, but still it meant having to queue up to get to certain parts of the falls. was at this point that I was very happy to be wearing my motorcycle waterproofs. People were getting absolutely soaked.
I think they've also got a waterfall and ice cream wall.